Johnny Hallyday, of course, in the papers, social media all over them all, really. What have you found?
Well, there's a lot of tributes pouring in for Johnny Hallyday, as you can imagine. He really was iconic in France. He physically, you know, he had those magnetic blue-green eyes, that raspy voice, those hip moves. The Élysée office was one of the first to react, releasing a statement saying, "We'll never forget his face, his name, his voice, or his music." And on Twitter, the reactions have been coming in thick and fast. Lenny Kravitz, the rocker, was one of the first to post his condolences, saying, "It's an honor to have known you and to have spent time with you. Your soul is pure rock and roll. Repose en paix," he writes in French, rest in peace. Céline Dion as well, she also tweeted her condolences, calling him a giant in show business, a true icon. He'll be sadly missed but never forgotten. You also have Paul McCartney's guitarist Brian Ray, who said he was gutted to hear of Johnny Halliday's passing, calling him a loyal friend, saying, "Rest in peace, Jojo, and thank you for the music."
Yeah, amazing to see those really high-profile tributes, really. On Twitter, at least here in Europe, of course, people are just waking up, really, to the news overnight. Not really a surprise. I mean, he'd been sick for a while, but still a big shock for people.
That's right. It is still a shock. We knew he was sick. He'd actually been announced dead many times in the past as well. So it wasn't a surprise, but people are very sad, as you can imagine. This user, I found this very poignant. This user says, "A lit fire will never burn out." Allumer le feu was actually one of his biggest hits. His most popular songs, Allumer le feu, means light a fire, so a bit of a play on words there, with a very nice picture of him quite young there. While this user says, "Que je t'aime, que je t'aime, que je t'aime, I love you." Another another line from a very popular song of Johnny Halliday's. While this user says the 6th of December will never be the same, because the 6th of December is, of course, St. Nicholas, but some of them, at least this user, wants it to be rebaptized St. Johnny.
You never know. Could happen, I suppose. His death widely reported, not just here in France, right around the world as well.
Well, we're looking at an array of the European press, at least. Corriere della Sera, an Italian newspaper, they've been reporting his death on their front page, saying a passing of a true icon, as you can, let's see if I can bring it up. And you also have the French version of Huffington Post, obviously going big on this story. "Noir, c'est noir," that's another line from Johnny Halliday's music collection. "Black is Black." It was actually a cover of a cover song of an English language song. While the New York Times has said Johnny Hallyday, the Elvis Presley of France, as we saw in that package earlier, he was also known as the biggest rock star you've never heard of.
You also found some pretty poignant obituaries, haven't you?
There are some great obituaries in the English language press. Let's start with this one from Billboard, a music website, to really get an idea of how big Johnny Hallyday was. Billboard explains that he reportedly outsold Mick Jagger in terms of discs sold. That figure is sort of put around 100 million during his career. He was also so endearing because he lived like a true rock star. I quote, "One that extended to rock star problems like drugs, taxes, fast cars, motorbikes, and high-profile romances." The Guardian's obituary recounts some interesting details. They say he was a bit of an enigma, a man so famous in France that Jimi Hendrix once opened for him. So you can get an idea of how famous he was in France. Despite his hard-shell rocker image, he never quite got over the childhood abandonment by his parents, and was reportedly afraid of the dark.
Okay. Little known fact about Johnny Hallyday.